Hey Capricorn, it's Tanisha from Tanisha's Tarot here. I'm here to do a mini reading for you for the month of February 2020. I'm going to do 3 little cards and then some clarification cards to get a little more insight into some of the energies that are coming at you this month. Now, I'm not going to take them. They all came out at once. Let's try again. Whoop. Your cards are all wanting to come out in a clump. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little bit of an extra shuffle here because I think it's important for them to be able to come out independently. Alright, here we go. Capricorn, February 2020. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so first one that's come out is the 5 of Swords. Second one that's come out is the 4 of Pentacles. And the third one that's come out is the Magician. So with the 5 of Swords, the 5 of Swords can signify some gossip and harsh words and perhaps backstabbing or conflict in relation to words, so arguments and stuff. So this may mean that there is some people around you that are having some issues. It may not be in direct conflict with you, but it's definitely something that you're aware of. And yeah, there's a feeling of conflict, and because it has to do with sword energy, it can do with like truths or untruths or misinterpretation of the truth. So in that respect, there's elements in February that have to do with negotiations and talking to people through tricky times. Now, the 4 of Pentacles is about can be about finance, and it can often be about fear of moving forward, fear of taking that next step. It can be about stagnation and mistrust, and perhaps even warning of poverty mentality. So considering it's just come from the 5 of Swords, I would say that this is very much in relation to trusting others, and there may be something to do with business or finance that has caused some level of conflict, and that's kind of making you recoil into a space where you're not necessarily so trusting of those around you at this point in time, because what you've just experienced has kind of just made you recoil a little into yourself. And but it is a warning of like not staying in that space for too long, because fear and poverty based mentality does create stagnation, and it serves a purpose for a time, but you don't want to stay there. Now with the Magician as the next card that comes up, it tells me that you don't stay there, but you do a reassessment. You do a reassessment of what equipment you have for life's challenges, and you remind yourself that you do have the power to manifest and alchemize and create what it is that you want in your world. So you're reminded of this. By the end of the month, you rebalance out, and perhaps conflict never occurs for no reason. Sometimes people need to shift out of your reality. You may have tuned into a different frequency that causes some around you to feel conflict or resentment towards you, because you've shifted into a different frequency that they don't understand. And that can cause people to speak out, or it can cause you to speak out. So whether it was your harsh words exchanged or others, it definitely leads you into fear, but ultimately you then come out the other end of it and realize that you on your own have what you need to move forward. You are your own master of your own destiny. So let's have a look at clarifiers for these cards. So for clarification for the 5 of Swords, I can see now why they wanted to come out in a clump. There's a big story in here. 5 of Swords, clarification. Alright. So, okay, there's 2 cards that came out for this. So, this may represent the individuals involved with the conflict. So, one is the Queen of Wands, which could be a fire sign or somebody who's quite, you know, active and rambunctious. And then there's and perhaps also an older person or female. And then there's a Knight of Cups, which can represent a younger and naive person who perhaps is a little more emotional and yeah, is sort of not necessarily knowing how to handle their own emotions. So that's what I'm seeing here of the energies in relation to this conflict, is there's somebody who's a bit fiery with their words and somebody who's a bit emotional. So it seems like these conflicts may not even be to you. I feel like they're just around you, but it's in direct relation to something to do with your business and your finance, because your response to this conflict is to actually tighten your purse strings. So let's see how that, the deeper parts of that part of your story. So 4 of Pentacles, clarification, please. Again, see the big story here. Alright, so you have the Queen of Cups and you have the Tower. So, yeah. Just like I suggested, like with the conflict occurring, it's sometimes got to do with being on, you know, these people needing to shift into their own frequency again. And so, it's like, conflict occurs so as they can then go off and distance themselves and reconfigure. And the Tower card that's come out and the Queen of Chalices, the Queen, or chalices meaning cups, the Queen of Cups is about emotions. She's generally quite emotionally stable, but as it relates to the 4 of Pentacles, it's just suggesting that there is a need for restabilization with emotions, and the Tower represents the falling away of things that no longer served you. So as these emotional states are going on around you, as these falling away of people or energies are going on around you, or even of possessions, this is all relating back to you stepping into a little bit of a cautious space, if maybe even a fear-based position momentarily whilst you regroup as emotions flare and people fall away. So that could just mean there's like a shift in dynamics, a shift in workspace, a shift in who you're working with. Yeah, like a reshuffling of the deck, because you then lead over to the Magician, which brings the power back to you, and you actually have all that you need at your fingertips. So let's clarify for that. Ah, beautiful. So yeah, the 6 of Pentacles is all about balance with finance, balance with your flow with abundance and everything. So you regroup and you realize that you can balance this show on your own, and whatever this little hiccup was, this stir up, was necessary. The Tower says that it's necessary, it needed to fall away. It's like you can't stop the leaves from falling off the trees, they need to, so as so the tree can get through winter and then it sprouts new ones in the spring, you know. So much like that, you get through this and then you regroup and you blossom unhindered, and it rebalances you. You're able to rebalance and reconfigure quite quickly, and especially with finance. So yeah, there's your February, Capricorn, and thank you for watching and liking my videos. Thank you for subscribing, and I look forward to speaking with you again next month. Bye.